Roll call shows all counselors are present except Counselor Forbeck.
Thank you. Can everyone please stand and join me in the pledge of allegiance? The audience can stand to the flag in the front and please face the back. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Three A is a proclamation recognizing the NAACP Beloit Branch 3251 for their 100th anniversary.
With members of the NAACP, Dorothy Harrell, you're right there, and also Sarita Washington, Joint Council Vice President Anderson.
Okay. Oh, now I'm scared. I'm in trouble.
Vice President Anderson,
Yes.
if you could begin and read the proclamation.
Yes. The proclamation reads, whereas the National Association for the Advancement for Colored People, NAACP, is the oldest civil rights organization in our nation, founded on the principle that all people of all races, nationalities, and faiths are created equal. And whereas the mission of the NAACP is to secure the political, educational, social, and economic quality of rights of all persons and to eliminate race-based discrimination. And whereas the NAACP, Beloit Branch number 3251, is the first and oldest chapter in Wisconsin, celebrating their 100th anniversary of serving the greater Beloit community. And whereas, over the past century, the Beloit Branch NAACP has advocated for the rights of African American individuals in our community, relentlessly pursuing pay equality, desegregation, and improved housing, health, and education opportunities for all. Now, therefore, the City Council President of the City of Beloit and the Beloit City Council does hereby recognize the Beloit branch of the NAACP, taking pride in what has been accomplished in our diverse community. And be it further proclaimed that the Beloit City Council encourages the citizens of Beloit to continue working together in the pursuit of equality and justice. We commend all of the members of the NAACP, both past and present, for their commitment to making our city a fair and equal place for all. Proclaim this 4th day of November, 2019. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's say a few words.
Sure, I'll say something. Can you share a few words?
Thank you very much to the Beloit City Council and to President Duncan. I want to say that when I took over the helm of the NAACP, one of the things that I wanted to do as part of my mission was to make sure that the Beloit community understood that NAACP advocates for all people. We were founded by a multiracial group, multi-religious group, and we continue to have our founders and their feelings as part of what we do today. So the work that we do is for all Beloit citizens. We work on sexism, we work on ageism, we work on gender bias. So we have continued to advocate for all citizens, and we welcome any and all of you to join us. Our next meeting is November 14th at the Pentecostal Church on Sunshine Lane. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilor Levy had a comment, and then I'll comment after he finishes. Go ahead.
I also want to congratulate them on their work in the community. And if you, to the president, she's absolutely correct. If you go to the meetings, you will see a variety of individuals there fighting for each cause. So I'm glad to see that for the meetings that I attend. And I just want to commend her on the job that she's doing. Been here a long time in the city of Beloit, and there's times that, and I just want to be honest, that there's times that the chapter wasn't as active. But I think since President Harrell has taken it on and her staff, there's a lot of movement with the chapter. And one thing I like about it is, although they challenge you, they don't just come to you and challenge you with problems and negativity, but they come to you and say, here's a situation we see, how can we work together to solve it? So I think that goes a long way as we look to build a better community and a better Beloit, that they're not just saying you're doing everything wrong, but they're saying here's some things that we can improve on, but we don't want you to do it by yourself. How can we do it together? So I greatly appreciate their support and what they're doing in the community.
Thank you, Councilor Levy. Any other comments? I just want to add to that. We certainly enjoyed the NAACP banquet. We all attended. We had a table with the city, also with my workplace, Beloit Health System. We had a table. So we just appreciate all your efforts and what you're doing to keep our community even more inclusive. So thank you for your efforts. With that said, we will go on to item 4.
There are no public hearings this evening. Item 5 is public comments.
We have reached the point in the agenda for residents to speak to the council about issues that are coming before us or may come before us in the future. Council members may not act on any requests at this meeting, but may refer a speaker to staff for assistance. We ask that you hold your comments to 3 minutes or less and refrain from personal attacks of any kind. Public comment is a privilege, and we expect everyone to conduct themselves in a civil manner. Speakers are asked to complete a public comment form and turn it in prior to this meeting. Each individual will be invited to the podium and asked to state your name and address for the record. Are there any members of the public wishing to address the council this evening? I'll ask again, is there anyone that would like to address the council this evening? If there are no members wishing to come forward at this time, we'll go on to item 6, the consent agenda.
All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered at this point on the agenda.
Thank you. Would any councilor like anything removed from the consent agenda?
Yes, Madam President.
Okay.
I would like to have item 6B removed from the consent agenda and considered separately.
Okay. And I was just going to say that the consent, thank you very much, Councilor Blakely, for that. The consent agenda consists of items 6A through 6C. I need to recuse myself from item 6B and would ask that it be removed for that purpose. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, including items 6A and 6C? Is there a first? Okay. Motion by Councilor Jacobson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Blakely. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Vice President Anderson will take the floor at this time.
Item 6B is consideration of resolution 2019-155, approving a memorandum of understanding between the City of Beloit and Beloit Health System, Inc. regarding its designation as a medical control hospital for the City of Beloit's Basic and Advanced Life Support Services Program.
This item was removed so Council President Duncan could recuse herself. Is there a motion to approve the resolution? First by Councilor Levy. Is there a second? Second by Councilor Preschel. Any discussion? Councilor Jacobson.
Thank you, Vice President Anderson. I want to commend the current fire department staff that's negotiated this contract. I appreciate, and I'm sure that our residents would appreciate that it's at zero cost to the city to receive sort of this guidance from the health system. And also, I don't normally like to draw attention to errors or make it seem like I'm criticizing staff, because I'm not. But I am sort of shocked that we were vulnerable, in a vulnerable position, not having a contract that was expiring, if you will. And so for however this was uncovered and negotiated and now it's here before us, I'm happy to see that we've, current administration has found a way to close the gap and then also provide great support to our citizens should they need services from our fire department. Thank you.
Is there any more discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries.
Item 7A.
7A is a consideration of a resolution 2019-154 for approval denial of applicants for an alcohol beverage operators bartender's license for the years 2019 through 2021. You have before you tonight 13 applicants recommended for approval and 1 for denial.
Okay, is there a motion to approve item 7A?
So moved.
Okay, moved by Councilor Vice President Anderson. Is there a second? Second by Councilor Pressler. Any discussion at this time? If not, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
8 is ordinances. Consideration of ordinance number 3667 to create section 17.57, parent 4, and to amend section 3.12 of the Code of General Ordinances of the City of Beloit pertaining to solid waste fees and service charges for the insufficient fund payments for debts owed to the city.
Thank you. At this time, our Finance and Administrative Services Director, Eric Miller, will provide us a summary.
Hi, good evening. So section 17.57 sub 4 refers to the fees associated with collection of solid waste items brought to city designated drop-off locations, in which we are currently charging $1.50 per bag. We are proposing to increase that fee to $2 per bag. The proposed ordinance language addresses the imposition of the fee, as well as the amount to be set by City Council resolution. Also in this item is section 3.12, which addresses fees for insufficient funds when payment is made by check. The recommended language will allow the city to charge a fee regardless of the payment type, which would then include ACH and wire transfers, or really any means of payment that has insufficient funds associated with it. So this is just on your agenda for first reading tonight, but I'd be happy to take any questions you might have.
Okay. This is a first reading, so is there a motion to lay this over?
I'll make a motion to lay this over on the rules.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilor Prussia. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Jacobson. Any discussion at this time? If not, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
9 is appointments, and there are no appointments this evening. 10 is council activities and upcoming events.
We will start with Councilor Prussia.
Well, I was going to talk about attending the NAACP banquet a couple weeks ago. That was very nice, and it was great to talk to a lot of people there. I don't get a chance to see a lot of people that I ran into there that night often enough. But anyway, I'm going to talk about something rather personal because it's a milestone tomorrow. November 5th marks 20 years since my last day at the Beloit Corporation. And that was also a day that my life changed hugely, and so did Beloit's. And I remember in March of that year when they announced the initial closing of the main plant, I said to the TV station waiting outside the gate, because somebody said, "Mark, you go talk to him." So I went out and I talked to the TV station. I said, "I hope Beloit gets used to the idea of life after Beloit Corporation." And it came to pass faster than I think anybody ever expected. So anyway, tomorrow is 20 years since that milestone in my life, and things have changed a lot. And people think that I'm nostalgic, and I look back and I long for those old days. And that's not, I don't look back with nostalgia that way. I look back because it informs me on how we got where we are today, and how much better things can be than we ever expect. And so you look back 20 years ago, and I was a machinist, and I had prospects that I didn't really care for, and look where I am today. And look at all the things that have happened in between. And look at how Beloit itself has transformed itself, and we are better today than we ever were back then. And you can talk about, I still like the idea of us making things, and I still like the idea of producing something from raw materials. Those are things all appeal to me greatly, and there's a place for that. But we as a city, as a community, are better today than we were then for a lot of reasons, from a lot of help from a lot of people in this room. made that happen. And I'm grateful for it all, and I want to remind people that no matter how bad it might seem, the future is always better. And so far, I've never seen anything to dissuade me from that point of view. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, Councilor Preschel. Councilor Jacobson.
Well, I don't, thank you, President Duncan. I don't normally have much to say, but I did want to say that a lot has changed, but I see they were still giving you the microphone back then. Councilor Preschel. I did.
Things never do.
Since Dorothy Harrell's still here, I just wanted to say that I also had a great time at the NAACP. And people spoke, they kind of, the impression I was getting is that when Dorothy calls, you need to step up and do what she asks. That's kind of what I was hearing. But it was really nice to be at the event and know and be proud that Beloit has the longest chapter in Wisconsin, and that 100 years is a long time. And it was, I was telling my friends and family after the event that, some things hadn't changed, and I thought the speaker was very poignant and really, had me thinking even after the event. So it was a great event that I understand you put on, and you seem to be a great delegator. So thank you for that, and you represent Beloit well, and it was. Yes, thank you very much. So keep inviting us, and we'll keep coming.
Councilor Blakely. Thank you, Councilor Jacobson.
That was great, what Councilor Jacobson and Councilor Preschel had to say about the banquet, the Freedom Fund banquet. It was wonderful as usual, and again, I found it quite inspiring. I can't add much more detail to my experience of it other than what they said, but I deeply appreciate it and find it very moving every year, and I'm happy to be included. There's one event that comes up this Wednesday evening at Beloit Public Library. It's a writers group, and all are welcome. It's called Night Writers, not Riders, Writers. You see, it's a play on words. They do that kind of thing a lot there. And it meets this Wednesday from 6 to 8 at Beloit Public Library. And anybody is welcome to come. If you've ever wanted to try your hand at writing, or you're further along in learning the ropes of writing, that's a very welcoming place to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Blakely. Councilor Levy.
Forgot. First of all, I was not at the NAACP banquet, but I want to make sure that everyone understands, because I tell them the one time I don't go, they decide to put a portrait on Facebook with everybody in it but me. Now, I'm not saying that was done intentional, but I remember the last several years I was there. There was nothing posted on Facebook with the entire group. Now, I'm not saying that that's just because I wasn't there, but the reason I was not there, and I did speak with the president to let her know that, as council president had mentioned before, I was recently appointed to the Rock County Board of Supervisors, and that was one of my second meetings, and I didn't think it would be nice to start missing meetings right away. So I did talk to President Harrell and let her know that I would not be able to be there. But when I did get home and see that portrait on Facebook, I was like, this is how they treat me. Yeah, right. But I do want to make sure that individuals know, to Councilor Jacobson's point of view, it's not a matter of whether you're going to do what President Harrell asked you to do. It's kind of like, when do you want me to do it? And I attribute that to the great respect that she has, because it goes the other way too. That I know I can call her and say, hey, I need this favor, I need this done, and we're working together to get it done. So when you give respect, you get respect. And I think people are willing to work for her because they know that when they call, that she's going to help them out as well. And I often encourage people to support the NAACP and other organizations as well, because I'm sure President Harrell would say we would like to hear from people, as counselors do, when things are going well, and not when there's always a situation either. So I just wanted to let her know that too. So that's the reason she gets the support that she gets, because she gives tirelessly as well, her and the entire organization. So, but I just wanted to let you guys know. I saw that on Facebook. So.
Thank you, Councilor Levy. Next, we were going to take Councilor Forbeck, but she's unable to attend tonight, but I'm sure she would echo our sentiments as well, that she was very pleased with the banquet, the NAACP banquet. So with that said, we'll go to our next counselor, Vice President Anderson.
Thank you. I'm going to echo the sentiment that was said the last few times here, that the banquet was great. I think I agree with Councilor Jacobson. It left you thinking, like, we've made progress, but there's still a lot more we need to do. A lot of the stuff that the original founders of the NAACP were working to solve, we're still trying to solve today, and that really left me thinking, especially when the speaker brought that message home. So I thought that was a really powerful statement. So thank you to the NAACP. That was a great event. Coming up, I just wanted to share that the Racial Justice Conference will be coming up on Thursday. That's the 5th year we're doing it, and thankfully the city is participating again. It's great that the city is going to those events and showing where their values lie. So I really appreciate that. It's definitely a great event, and I just wanted to give a shout out to Vicki Brown for doing such a great job at that event. She works really hard, and I can tell you from bumping into her at work, she does not play around when it comes to Racial Justice Conference. She is definitely a hard worker. Just another thing I've been doing too, just wanted to share that I'm back into coaching again. Just wanted a little bit of personal stuff. The kids don't know that I do this, but I've got a fun group of kids that drive me up a wall at times already, but it's been a fun year. So if you see me more tired than usual, it's probably because I was coaching. It's surprisingly exhausting, even though I'm not doing anything. So, so with that, that's all I have. Thank you.
And I just want to keep echoing what we've been talking about with the NAACP banquet. We had a chance to attend, but I think it was wonderful to see that the city supported this effort. But not only was it with our city, but also our city staff, our city manager, and also our police chief joined us at the table. So again, many congratulations, Dorothy, to you and all of the members with the NAACP. Much appreciated. I also want to mention that we've received responses regarding both the youth vacancies for our city committees, for the Municipal Golf Committee and the Parks, Recreation, and Conservation Advisory Committee. I think it was helpful that I posted it on Facebook and other community members shared it. So thank you, Vice President Anderson, and all the other councilors that shared that vacancy. We hopefully will get even more candidates. Also, other committees and vacancies are listed on our City of Beloit website. So if you have an interest and want to put your talents to good use, certainly it'd be great for you to take a look at that. Also, if you're interested and you need more information, you can call our Executive Assistant, Pam Lathrop, at 364-6614. And speaking of committees, candidates interested in running for a 2-year term on the Beloit City Council can pick up a packet and nomination papers in the office of the City Clerk Treasurer on the 2nd floor of City Hall, Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, or call 364-6680. Currently, we have 4 seats open. And I should just tell a little joke, because Kevin always says, when it's our term up, we always have people running. But we want to encourage people to run in the community. And so go get your packet next year. So with that said, I was very sad to hear that Councilor Beth Jacobson will not be running for re-election. Beth, I want you to know that you are always prepared, and you have been wonderful on our council. So thank you for your dedication and service. The good news is you still will be here with us for a while. Next, I want to thank all our first responders for keeping us safe during the Halloween activities. I noticed on the City of Beloit website page, our police officers were out riding their bikes and helped in finding a small child who got separated from her parents. So kudos to the Beloit Police Department. And special thanks to our Department of Public Works for completing some of the capital improvement projects, as well as the Prairie Avenue construction project. It hasn't been easy, but you're doing a great job. So in closing tonight, I would also like to mention that the public should be aware that the city will have free yard waste collection, brush and shrubbery collection, and leaf vacuuming service it started today from November 4th to November 21st. Was that not on there? Excuse me?
There is a fee associated with the vacuum
Yes,
service.
yes. But the one that's free is the yard collection, right?
Correct.
And it's on their trash pickup day.
Correct.
Okay, yep. So for more information, so if I got anything wrong, you can call our Public Works Operations Facility at 364-2929. Also, there will be a public meeting with the GovHR USA the firm leading the fire chief search at 6 o'clock on Thursday, November 14th at the Beloit Public Library. So, with that said, we'll go on to the next item on our agenda. Oh, just a second. Okay, I'll go ahead and take a comment from Councilor Jacobson.
I also wanted to thank the Beloit Public Library for hosting a study session. I happen to know that the semester, I don't know what they call them, quarters, semesters ended on Friday, and they had treats and candy, so students that would be distracted by trick-or-treaters, that they could go and study quietly at the library for 2 days, and I heard it was a big success, and so that was a great collaboration between the library and the school district for students that maybe have tougher courses than usual at the high school and maybe didn't want trick-or-treaters interrupting their studies, which I'm sure none of them ate too much candy. I'm sure they were studying diligently, but it was the end of the quarter, and so that was good on their part. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you for adding that, Councilor Jacobson. Any other comments from any other counselors before I wrap up? Okay, next on the agenda, there is no city manager's presentation, so we'll go on to item 12.
12A is consideration of resolution 2019-152, approving the operating budgets, appropriating funds, and levying property taxes necessary for the operation and administration of the city of Beloit for the year 2020, including the 2020 capital improvement budget, the Beloit Public Library budget, and further authorizing the city clerk treasurer to allocate the city property tax along with the apportionments of certified for other jurisdictions upon the current tax roll of the city.
Thank you. Our Finance and Administrative Services Director, Eric Miller, and the City Manager are available to respond to any questions at this time.
Thank you. So we held a pre-budget workshop back in July, which kind of kicked it off for our budget process. We presented the proposed budget to you on October 7th. We then held a budget workshop at the library on October 14th, followed up by a public hearing on October 21st. And so that leaves us here tonight with the final step of the process, which is the resolution that you have before you to consider adoption of the 2020 City of Beloit operating and capital budget. That's all
Thank
I
you.
got.
Okay, thank you for that, Eric. So is there a motion to approve the proposed resolution? Okay, it's been moved by Councilor Jacobson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Blakely. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for all your hard work, Eric, and the staff. Thank you very much.
12B is consideration of resolution 2019-156, authorizing an update to the schedule of fees, charges, and rates for the city of Beloit, Wisconsin.
Okay. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the proposed resolution? Okay, it's been moved by Councilor Jacobson, seconded by Councilor Levy. Any discussion at this time?
I just wanted to.
Go ahead, Councilor
I just
Prussia.
want to, for the benefit of everybody, he went down the list of the many hearings, and what you don't see in these packets even today is that the consolidation of many of these reports, the schedule of fees being one of them, beautifully done, way easier to read than it was when I first started looking at this stuff, and way, way easier than it was 20 years ago. And I just wanted to let people know that are watching that this has been, we've gone over this and looked at it in great detail, and everybody here is pretty familiar with what we're doing now. So just not to think that we're just going whoop, whoop, whoop. This has been considered a great deal. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any further discussion?
I just want to
Go ahead, Councilor
ask
Blakely.
you, Madam President, to just remind citizens where they can find the information so they can double check what the fees are going to be.
Right. And I believe they can check on our website.
Correct. All
Okay.
of these documents in their entirety are available on the city's website. So you can see the proposed budget, you will see the adopted budget, you will see the schedule of fees, all of the PowerPoint presentations, all of the detail is available to anyone they can just go to our website, and it's very easy to navigate from there.
I do have one question, City Manager Luther. If they don't have access to a computer, is there any way at the library they could go, or where could they?
Certainly, they can access those from the library. We no longer print the hard copies as we used to, as you might imagine, with a 450 some odd page document. But we also have availability at City Hall should someone need to view the document, but I would strongly encourage them to go to the library.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any other further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
12C is consideration of Resolution 2019-153, approving the 2020 Business Improvement Operating Plan and Budget.
Okay. All right, Shauna, were you going to come forward? Thank you, ladies, for being here. Thank you. And we have Chanel Amin presenting.
Hi, thank you. So we have been working long and hard on our budget as well. We have been talking budget for a couple months. Councilor Jacobson is on our board, so she has been engulfed in 2 budgets at the same time. So sorry about that for her.
And now she's quitting.
And now she's quitting. It's all because of your budget, not mine. So we've been really busy at DBA. There we go. So we have 9 new businesses throughout downtown. One of our newest ones just opened about a week and a half ago, Medical Grade Aesthetics. So if you haven't been there, it's in Chester Square at 136 West Grand Avenue on the first floor. Large storefront space. It's really nice. We've had over $1.9 million in private investment to date. We have several more that are planned that I know you guys have heard a lot about that we don't have final dollars for. So that'll be really exciting. I'm sure we'll probably have another record-breaking year of investment downtown. We do give out facade grants and sign grants too to our businesses who need them. So we have a couple that have already been committed, and we have a few more on the docket for this year. Lots of businesses want to upgrade their signage, especially some that are now realizing the importance of their back door. When it comes to on-street parking, that's more limited. They are using their back doors, and they're upgrading their signage in their back door, which is really great. Our downtown gift card program, we started very late last year, so we've gotten almost 12 months of that in under our belt right now. It's going great. We have over 170 businesses downtown, so if you get 1 gift card from us, you can actually use that at any of our downtown businesses that accept cards. And right now we're actually holding a promotion from now until the end of the year. Those are actually available for no fees, so you can come to our office and get those for no fees to maybe give to your employees, your staff, your friends, your relatives, and come and get those from us now. Our downtown beautification program has continued. We had 2 part-time staff members all summer, one of which is returner from last year, so she's been really great for us. And another one that was more weekends doing events, so those have been really great. Our beautification self-watering hanging baskets that we started last year has grown, and we saw a huge improvement in that. So we are actually adding 20 more, so we'll have 60 in this spring. So you'll see even more hanging baskets, which is great. We continued our SNAP program, so that's our food share program that we do at the farmers market. You buy tokens from us, you can use them at any of the farmers market vendors that do grow their food, and then you can use the wooden tokens is what they are. So your SNAP benefits can go further. And then right now, just as a yay, we have a 2% active property vacancy rate, which is pretty low for us, which is really nice. I have 2 storefronts that are available right now, so if anybody's looking to move downtown Beloit, come see me. And last year, we created a new app for ourselves. So it's a nationwide app, Districts beloitbusiness.com or districts on your Play Store. It is downloadable for free. All of our businesses are listed. You can also see our events, our parking. You can see all of the attractions. It is an interactive experience with downtown Beloit, so if you haven't downloaded it yet, please do. It's a great way to get involved with our businesses. Our businesses are also listed for free, so it's a great thing that we are a National Main Street organization member, and so we get that for free as well. So that's really great for our community. We just got approved by Visit Beloit for a new speaker system throughout downtown. So we're doing it in a two-phase setup. We're going to be doing State Street, hopefully before Grand Lighted Holiday Parade, which is the end of this month. So cross your fingers that UPS ships our stuff right. And then we get those installed. And then we'll have holiday music playing throughout State Street. And then next year, our goal is to buy the second phase, and then we'll have live music going on Grand Avenue. The great thing is then we can actually use it when we do have live bands, when we do have things going on downtown during Grand Lighted, and we're trying to use the speaker system to get everybody to know what the next float is. We're able to use that speaker system to tap into it as well. So pretty cool. So the nuts and bolts of our budget, you have your full operating plan in your packet as well as our work plan. So just a couple of things on there to note. There was no major changes, no major initiatives that we're undertaking next year at this point. So our basic operating budget revenue is a little over $182,000. Estimated carryover from 2019 is almost $118,000, which is a huge improvement in our budget. After several years ago when street dance got rained out, we were looking pretty lull there. So that's a huge improvement for us. Our net assessment is $130,000, so total income and assets would be a little over $430,000. And then as you can see, our expenses are right in line with that. So organization expenses, a little over $95,000. Economic restructuring, which is our business to business category that we do. So our business brochures and stuff like that, and the initiatives that we do to recruit businesses is a little over $2,700. Design expenses, that's for the beautification of downtown, the grants that we give and such. So that's $29,500. Promotions, $165,500. So as you can see, we would still have carryover of an increase again after next year. So our board has talked about like what is our ultimate goal of how much we would like to have, and we would like to have at least 6 months of operating costs saved up in order if there was another catastrophic rained out event that we would be safe and have a safety net. So then you'll also see in your packet that we are amending our bylaws. It is basic changes. It's actually just changing our address. When we split off from the partnership, we didn't want to change our bylaws right away because we didn't know where we would end up. And we still don't know for sure, but we right now are staying in our current home that we're at. So we just had some minor housekeeping with our new address. Our meeting time changes. State statutes do say that we don't have to have a full audit every year as long as our cash on hand doesn't reach a certain amount with them. So working with them, we were able to change that in here as well. And that is all. Any questions?
Any questions from any counselors? Go ahead, Counselor Levy.
First of all, congratulations. Still hearing a lot of great things about Farmers Market. And I've worked in places like Zion, Illinois, and Harvard, Illinois currently. And even as far as away as those places, there are people who come to Beloit for the Farmers Market. So kudos to you and the staff for doing a great job. The other question I have is, I know you mentioned the rain out for the street dance. Have you given thought to a second site? Let's say if there is another rain out date, a place where we can still hold that event, because I see it. And then I'll talk to you about it last year, about expanding it even more, because it's growing each year, I think, and just listening to people who plan their class reunions, that's their Friday night event. So we're seeing a lot of it growing, and even through the Facebook traffic, you're hearing people say, oh, that was my first time here, I'm going back next year. So have you given thought to a backup site and even expanding it down a little bit further? Because I see pretty soon you're going to be out of space.
Yeah, it was a packed sardine can this year, I'll just say. So this was our highest year ever with 3,500 people. So in tracking that, we did say we definitely have to make it bigger. So for starters, our rain location, we've talked to the Powerhouse about their new development. So their indoor space would be enough to fit a standing crowd only type. It would be enough to fit our street dance with our live band and our beer tent. And so I've talked to them about that. Hopefully we can work out some kind of a arrangement that I can reserve it and see how much it would cost us for that. So we haven't gotten to that point yet because the Powerhouse isn't quite done. And then we've talked about expanding it and actually making it into an L shape to where the food vendors and some of the other vendors are in the parking lot of the gantry for a couple years. We do know that the gantry may be going away after a while, but for now it might be a shorter term solution to put those over into the parking lot and make it L-shaped. So if you want to go into the food trucks, you can go over into a separate area, because that's actually usually what tends to bog down the movement of street dance is everybody's standing in line waiting for their food, and they're not wanting to move out of the way, and so the whole intersection is kind of bogged down by that.
Okay, and then just kind of a follow-up to the crowd, and I'll ask you or the city manager or even the chiefs that's here this evening, is there a capacity number that we shouldn't exceed there without being forced to expand? Because I believe, and I know you like to be proactive, because I can tell the way you talk, it's like, what are we going to do next year? So we're not getting right up to that date and have to make changes. So I didn't know if there's a number, a magic number, that if we hit this amount, we should be ready to expand, or we need to do it ahead of time. So I don't mean to put anybody on the spot, but as we talked about, this is your highest number. It's just going to continue to grow. So
Yeah, we haven't put a study together or anything with either of the chiefs.
City
think
Manager
that-
Luther?
Thank you. I think the response to that question is that the DBA has always done a very good job of reaching out to all of the partners in various departments and divisions throughout the city, including Public Works, and our staff there are highly involved in these events as well. And so I would think prior to next year's event, both of our chiefs will have an opportunity to provide some direct feedback to that type of question, as well as the rest of our staff in regard to how we can continue to make this event even better every year. So,
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Counselor Jacobson.
Hi, Shauna. You guys know how I feel about Shauna and Crystal. I've said before that they're two of the hardest working people. And since you asked Kevin, I'm sorry, Counselor Levy, what we could do to help, we're always looking for more volunteers. The DBA, since I'm the council rep on the DBA board. So if other council members are interested, you could get in for free by volunteering.
Yeah, I know.
And then you could
there was
stay
one year
later.
I did the gate from like 5 until close. So yeah, I was right there, Councilor Jacobson. So,
But we literally meet the first meeting after these events. Sean and Crystal sit down and the board. And they say, what can we do better? What didn't work? What did work? And so kudos to you guys, because we were planning the next year, we hadn't even counted all the money yet. So that was crazy.
And I think that's a good problem to have when you have too many people, in a sense.
Yeah,
But
and we
we
have
do have to be
encouraged some of
concerned.
the class reunions to come to Oktoberfest, because that is street dance like. It's the same thing. So we actually did have 4 of them that moved from street dance this year to Oktoberfest. So hopefully we can encourage that more as well, just to spread things out a little bit.
And I did volunteer, Shauna.
Yes,
and
you
I really,
did.
it was enjoyable. So if you want to volunteer, just give Shauna a call. Also, Councilor Blakely, I think you had something to add. Did you not have something to add? I saw you.
You're just a mind reader. All I wanted to add was appreciation for all the work that you do. You keep our downtown along with others on the staff, of course, but you work so hard keeping our downtown vital, and I really appreciate it.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Yes. Any other questions, suggestions? Okay. Thank you, Shauna, and thank you to the Downtown Beloit Association for what you're doing. Okay, so with that said, is there a motion to approve the proposed resolution? Okay. I think that, I'm guessing, I think the first is by Councilor Levy, a second by Councilor Jacobson. Any discussion?
He's over there, I'm over here.
I couldn't hear you that good. I didn't know who was what. Okay. So,
I'm in the middle.
okay. If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
12D is consideration of Resolution 2019-146, approving the 2020-2024 Consolidated Plan, 2020-2024 Neighborhood Revitalization Strategy Area, 2020 Annual Plan, and 2020 Community Development Block Grant Budget.
Before you begin, Julie, I just want to make note that Vice President Anderson recused himself from this. Okay. And with that said, Julie, can you?
So the Department of Housing and Urban Development
Mhm.
requires us to do a consolidated plan every 5 years, an annual plan every year, and a budget every year in order to receive our community development block grant funds. So this is the year where all of that has to be done. And as well as we've updated our neighborhood revitalization strategy area plan for the Maryland Hackett neighborhoods. So at your last meeting, you held a public hearing, and so you heard about the plan and the budget. This is the 5-year and 1-year plan combined. We had a consolidated plan steering committee, which was comprised of local housing and homeless service providers and other social service agencies which assist our residents and residents who helped develop this plan. And then we also met with the residents of the Maryland neighborhood and the Hackett neighborhood, and a lot of you attended those meetings, and we prepared this NARSA plan, which just has some minor tweaks from the original plan that was in 17. When we kicked off the NARSA effort, we knew we were kind of mid-year in the 5-year plan, but after meeting with the residents, we did add some additional strategies to address their concerns, and these 2 plans plus the budget are on your agenda for action this evening.
Okay. Any counselors have any input at this time? Okay. With that said, is there a motion to approve the proposed resolution?
So moved.
Okay. It was moved by Counselor Prushel, seconded by Counselor Blakely. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
12E is consideration of Resolution 2019-147, approving the 2020 Home Investment Partnerships Program budget.
Okay. Julie? Let's see. Do we have any questions or comments at this time? Okay. With that said, is there a motion to approve the proposed resolution?
So moved.
Okay. We have a motion by Counselor Blakely, a second by Counselor Levy. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Julie.
Item 12F is the City Council may adjourn into a closed session in the Blue Conference Room, Engineering Utilities Building pursuant to Section 19.85, Parent 1, Parent E, Wisconsin statutes to deliberate or negotiate the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, statute, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, namely to discuss a possible agreement between the Town of Beloit and the City of Beloit for the provision of water and sewer services. The council may reconvene into an open session. Also, 12G, the City Council may adjourn into a closed session in the Blue Conference Room pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.85, parent 1, parent G, for the purpose of conferring with the legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved, specifically to discuss potential litigation with the Town of Beloit, Town of Turtle, regarding the cooperative boundary agreement and to consider a possible settlement of Staples Contract and Commercial LLC versus City of Beloit, 18-CV660 and 19-CV685. The council may reconvene into open session to take action on one or more of these items discussed in closed session.
Okay. I need a motion to go into closed session. Okay. I have a motion by Councilor Prushel. Is there a second? Second by Vice President Anderson. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? We are now in closed session.
The City Council has before them Resolution 2019-162, which is a resolution approving sewer and water agreements with the town of Beloit. There are 3 agreements that are referenced in this resolution, including an agreement for sewer and water service, a special assessment agreement, and a memorandum of understanding, all between the City of Beloit and the town of Beloit. These documents, as discussed, provide an opportunity for the City of Beloit to provide sewer service within a defined area in the town of Beloit to both city and town residents in regard to wastewater treatment and provision of water services. We are proud of the new relationship that we have forged through this mutually beneficial water and sewer agreement. And because the town cannot cost effectively service wastewater originating in this area, the town requested that the city treat the wastewater. Potential incorporation of part of the town previously made reaching such an agreement on water and sewer service difficult, in part due to concerns about the enforceability of such an agreement. Part of this agreement includes a condition that the town of Beloit will cease incorporation efforts and guarantees that it will not pursue incorporation for a 30-year period. Individuals who live in this area, whether city or town residents, will not be required to hook up to sewer service until their septic system fails. Homeowners must connect to water, but unlike typical special assessments in the City of Beloit, they will have 20 years rather than 10 years to pay the assessment. So needless to say, we are proud to present this agreement. We understand that the town of Beloit Board of Supervisors approved these documents earlier this evening. I'm prepared to respond to any questions.
Any questions or comments from any counselors?
My compliments to Lori and the staff for spending the last, well, it's been 3 years probably to get to this point, and it's been a long time coming, and I'm very happy and pleased with the results so far. And as always, it doesn't diminish the fact that I still think Beloit is better together, and we're working together, and hopefully we can work together more in the future.
Any other comments? I would just like to say that I'm encouraged by this partnership. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Okay, so do we need a motion at all?
Yes.
Okay, is there, I would entertain a motion at this time. For clarity, do we need to be clear on that motion?
It's the motion to approve Resolution 2019-162.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Counselor Jacobson, seconded by Counselor Levy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? With that said, motion carries. Okay. Next.
Next, the council has before them Resolution 2019-164, which is a resolution approving a settlement agreement and authorizing execution thereof regarding Staples property tax assessment litigation. This provides for a settlement to this litigation, and without reading the entire resolution, I'd be happy to answer any questions. This is a standard settlement for these types of issues specific to this property.
Any other comments, questions from any counselors? At this time, I entertain a motion to approve the proposed resolution to settle the dispute with Staples. Is there a first?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Counselor Preschel, seconded by Counselor Levy. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? With that said, motion carries. Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion to adjourn by Counselor Jacobson, seconded by Counselor Levy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
With that said, we are now adjourned.